Like, share, die. So Spree tells a story of a struggling social media influencer who snaps and decides to turn to chaos and murder to finally go viral. But for those of you that caught my most recent Evil Live, you know that there has been a lot of straight to VOD releases here over the past couple of months that haven't really done a whole lot for me. I don't know if it's just my mood because I miss theater so much, or people being overhyped with these movies and just they'll take whatever they can get at this point. I don't know, but I'll be honest with you, Spree was one that I passed by. I recognized the actor, I played the trailer, and I went, you know what? I'm gonna give one more shot to see if there might be some hidden gems on VOD right now. And I don't know if it's because of my own personal ties to the concept itself, or because this is a movie that I watched completely blind with no other influence whatsoever. Nobody's saying it's awesome, nobody's saying it's terrible, just walking in blind. But I really enjoyed Spree. So starting right off with the positives, the main one is the main performance of Joe Keery. You're gonna recognize this guy as Steve from Stranger Things. He was actually the thing that kind of made me stop when I was scrolling on Amazon and go, is that Steve? And watch the trailer. He is really good in this. This is a guy that, you know, you see him play this performance on Stranger Things, and whether it's because of the writing or his performance, he definitely evolved in Stranger Things from the typical kind of high school douchebag into this character that we all love, and love his relationship with these kids. And then you get the actor in a role like this, and you go, oh, okay, so he's just a really good charismatic actor.
For all of you out there who don't know me, get ready.
And his character of Kurt is interesting because he has to be charming enough to make you believe that he can be somewhat of an influencer, while at the same time you have to believe that he's awkward enough and detached enough from reality that he's not successful, and he just thinks that the whole world is going to revolve around his sub count and his follower count. And he does a really good job at kind of doing all aspects of an influencer. And again, because I have personal ties to this story, maybe I see things that a lot of just casual viewers won't see, and they'll just be like, oh, it's Steve, he's just doing Steve again. But I look at it and I go, okay, I know somebody who acts like that. And then he gets a little bit darker and he's like, oh, you know, what do I do? I'm struggling, how do I figure this out? And I'm like, okay, I know somebody who's like that. And there's just a lot of different shades of his whole performance with this really detached character who goes off the deep end that I thought he really brought to life. And because this is a movie that's, you know, very much found footage, told from a lot of different POV angles, and is very simplified with what it's going to show you, just POV style, this guy going nuts, the central performance is going to be where this movie hinges on, and he is very good. If it was an actor less than him, this movie would go nowhere.
Hey, I don't see any cops around. Should I blow this next one?
Fucking hey!
Second to that, I really just like this concept. Because I'm an influencer, I'm a YouTuber, I see all of the different craziness that is portrayed in this movie. From influencers thinking that's the only thing that matters in the world, to other influencers who just, you know, easily just make it and they're like, whatever, I don't have time for you. And then even down to the point where you get like the chat board that's going on when certain crazy things are going, and you get some people that are like, oh my God, what's happening? Somebody call 911. And then right below that, you get somebody that's like, kill her, make it bloodier. And I've seen, obviously not to that degree, but I've seen a lot of different comments, different commenters, different just shades of ugliness on social media to where that stuff is real. That's a real portrayal of how people who absorb content and absorb social media act. Some people still remain human and they react how a human should act, and some people are so detached that they're behind their keyboard, they're like, whatever, entertain me, make it bloody, chop her head off. And there's some subtle commentary in there. There's some social context about, you know, how much we put into our social media presence and our influencer status and our sub count and how many views we get and how many people are watching in a live stream. And, you know, business wise, as a YouTuber, that's always in the back of your mind when you're doing things. But hopefully, if you're a sane person, the passion behind what you're doing and just having fun and, you know, wanting to get your thoughts out there or get your creativity out there is always the thing that comes first. But there's certainly a lot of cases where that scale tips and it's just all about the numbers. It's all about how powerful that can become. And, you know, if I'm not documenting every single piece of my life, am I really living? And then you have people that are still attached to reality that's going, if you're documenting every single piece of your life, you're not living. You're just influencing. You're just putting your shit out there for other people that don't care about you.
If you're not documenting yourself, You just don't exist.
Again, because I have personal ties to this storyline and to some of the themes that they're going for, it actually was a lot more entertaining for me. It's not subtle, it's definitely right in front of your face what they're doing, so it's not like you have to kind of detect or have a personal side to this to be able to see what they're doing, but because I do, a lot of it is more violent, a little bit more disturbing, and a lot funnier to me as well. And I also like the mix that they have between horror and comedy here. This is by no means a scary film. I mean, the concept of it is scary if you think how many people out there actually have the mindset that this guy has. But it's a movie that's trying to entertain you, make you laugh, and you're kind of smiling and going along for the ride the whole time while people are getting mutilated. And it harnesses much more of the comedy side of the black comedy than the horror side. But I think that it does a good balance of making you laugh, making it entertaining enough to where you don't feel like you're dirty from watching it. But the horror side of things is much more kind of maintained in reality. There's not a masked killer, there's no supernatural stuff. This is something that probably has happened and will happen again. And I even liked, as a final positive, the way that they kind of explain how this movie came to be. Like towards the end of the movie, it's almost like the credits when they're showing the aftermath of everything and you kind of have to piece things together about how this whole thing got compiled into one viewing experience. I actually really like that. I think that when you have a found footage movie, that piece of it is very important. Sometimes it's just as easy as writing, you know, footage was kept and it was found so many years later, like the Cloverfield movies or like Blair Witch. But you get a movie like this that there's so many different video feeds that are getting pushed together from so many different social media platforms and different cameras and different people that I like the little bit of extra effort that they put in at the end as far as saying, hey, this is how this all got compiled together for this movie Spree that you're watching. I was like, oh, that's a cool little detail to end on. As far as the negatives, it's really just some of the side characters. I mean, Joe Keery is by far the best performance in this movie, by far the only character that you're even really engaged with. All the other characters from, I think it was Bobby, the other like rival social media guy, is you're supposed to hate him to a certain degree, even though he's not the one killing people. You get this character, Jesse Adams, who's this comedian that comes in, and I don't really like whenever you have a character who's supposed to be this huge popular stand-up comedian and they're not funny at all. If you could have had somebody in there where they show the stand-up comedy set and you're like, oh, she's actually really good, that would help me buy into it a lot more. But I see this person and I'm go, I would never laugh at you. And I don't think anybody else would either. So how are you so popular? Then you have David Arquette. If you've seen my Scream reviews, you know I'm not really a fan of David Arquette. I don't hate the guy, I just don't think he's that talented of an actor. I understand those of you that like him. Of course, his character of Dewey in Scream is very important, but he's just not a guy that I ever really feel like adds a whole lot to a movie. And though he's not terrible here, I don't think he adds anything to the movie. But overall, guys, for a quick little VOD experience, I actually really enjoyed Spree. I thought that this was a cool little concept, a nice little twist on found footage horror. I loved the central performance of Joe Keery. I thought that the whole theme that they were going for with living your life and the detachment from life with having the social influencing mindset and all that stuff was really cool. It kind of spoke home to me. And it was just a fun little 90-minute ride that I probably would rewatch. So if you guys like found footage horror, if you're a social media influencer and you want to see the dramatization of the negative side of that lifestyle, definitely check out Spree, if not for just the central performance alone. I found it on Amazon Instant Video, so go ahead and check it out now and stream it. So what do you guys think of Spree? Did you enjoy this one? Was this another of the VOD movies that you just go, God, I want the theaters back? Or were you like me and went, hey, that actually entertained the hell out of me? Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Do you know anybody that has this crazy social media influencer mindset where it's all about the social media, it's all about the sub count, it's all about the viewers? Let me know so I can avoid them. Please like and share this video, hit that subscribe button, and as always, remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.